Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today for a new pick a card reading. For those of you that might be new to my channel, welcome in. My name is Melissa, and the topic that we will be reading on today is going to be your next new job. So this is a reading I like to do periodically from time to time on my channel, and it's really meant for any of you who are just maybe looking for a new job opportunity. Maybe you've been interviewing, putting feelers out there, and just wanting to kind of see what the next new opportunity potentially is for you. So what I like to do in this reading is get you some qualities and characteristics of this potential job opportunity headed your way. And then at the ending of the reading, I like to close it out with some time frames of significance so you can have an idea as to when this new opportunity is headed your way, or just some significant time frames you're going to want to keep in mind as you're manifesting this in. So keep in mind this is a general reading, so some messages will resonate with your situation while others may not. Just take what resonates with you, leave behind anything that doesn't, and if you do want to book a personal reading, all the details on how you can do so will be linked in the description box down below. Also, this is a predictive style reading, which means that what we are seeing in this reading today is all based off of your current energy. It's just showing us a snapshot in time based off what is happening in your career right now. So just keep in mind that you're never bound to the energy of a tarot reading because energy is always shifting and changing, and you're able to manifest whatever future for yourself that you want, depending on the actions you're taking today. So just keep that in mind. So for today's pick a card, we're actually going to do a pick a color. So we're going to be working with 3 different piles today. So starting here on the left-hand side, we have pile 1. This is the echinacea. We have pile 2, light apricots. And for pile 3, we have the grapefruit. So go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about your next job opportunity headed your way. Go ahead and select the card you're feeling the most intuitively connected to, really selecting with your intuition versus your eyesight. And once you've made your choice, you can scroll down to the description box below where you will find the timestamp that'll take you straight away to your chosen reading. See you there. Hello there, group 1. If you all selected the echinacea color, this is going to be your reading. We're going to get all into your next new job opportunity. Make sure you guys stay till the end because I'm also going to be channeling some time frames for you just to see like when this may present itself to you. So let's go ahead and get started. So kicking it off, you guys selected the echinacea card. So this card talks about inner strength and immunity, and it is the color pink. So pink cards or pink colors typically have to do with our heart chakra. So right off the bat, I do feel that whatever job this is going to be something that you may feel a lot of love or passion for. And echinacea, with it being a healing plant, and with this card talking about inner strength and immunity, I do feel that there's some sort of a healing element to this role. So for some of you, you might be in a healing type of position where you're healing others. Whereas for others of you, something about this job is going to feel very healing for you personally. And I do feel that this is something that's going to help you guys to just build up your own strengths in some aspect. So let's continue on here. So we have Mars, which is really interesting. So Mars is also talking about something that you guys are passionate about. And this tends to be a planet of passions, and it also tends to be a planet of aggression. So for some of you, I do feel like this next job could be something that you may have to really fight for. It might be something that you are maybe competing for with other people. I also feel that this could be a role for some of you where you are in like a competitive environment. So it could be like a sports type of energy. It could be some sort of physical activity involved in the work that you're doing. So again, kind of tying back to the healing energy, like I'm getting for some of you, this could be like in the medical field or even just in like, I don't know, the fitness industry, something like that. But either way, this is definitely something that I feel you guys are going to have to fight for. I think it's something that you guys are going to have to really drive yourselves towards with a lot of vigor. Does that make sense? Like you're going to have to really go after it. Okay. So we have the energy of the thief coming in. And then we also have the teacher. So the teacher is talking about the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. So there is an energy here of you all teaching in some capacity. So for some, this literally could be a teaching role, like in the classical sense that we think about, like in the school. But you guys could be teaching in another type of way. Again, like I keep going back to this echinacea with Mars. Like this does feel for some of you like this role could be in the medical field. So some of you guys might be like trainers or educators in the medical field, something like that. And I am being drawn to how this teacher has like this world in their hands here. So this is kind of making me feel like for some of you, this could be a role where you have to travel, or there's some sort of a global aspect to what you're doing. So it could be like a company that you work for that's like a global sort of company or has a lot of reach. But I feel like you guys could be working with a lot of diverse types of people or diverse groups of people, okay? We also have the thief coming in here. So on the light attribute, this talks about sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. I feel like this is relating back to that inner strength and immunity. So it's like, I think within this role for many of you, you're finding out your worth. You're learning your worth. Like there's something I think about this Mars energy that might challenge you to understand, like working hard for something and really earning something, and maybe even understanding that like whatever's for you is for you. Nothing can be taken away from you that's not meant for you. Does that make sense? I'm also being drawn here to how like the heart is inside of like the thief's jacket. So again, we're going back to this echinacea energy of healing. So there's something about this job that you're doing that I feel is healing your heart. It's like healing your sense of self-worth. Maybe you guys kind of keep your heart close to your chest, or you don't always show your emotional side of things, but I do feel that there's something about this role that's going to be bringing out that aspect of you. And for some of you, this could be a role on the flip side where even though you do have love for it and you do really care about what you're doing, there could be an element of needing to withhold some of that energy depending on the field you're in, or like whatever the work is you're doing, maybe for professional purposes. This also does talk about stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. So I do think that for some of you guys, this job, it might challenge you to sort of like be a little bit more creative about how you go about achieving your goals and how you go about doing things versus maybe like just emulating what other people have done in the past, or other people like within the organization you might work in or industry you work in. I feel it's going to challenge you to come up with your own creative way of doing things. So looking at the tarot cards, we have the Two of Pentacles. And we also have the Star card. So definitely a very healing, inspiring energy coming through here. With that Star card, I do feel like a lot of you guys may find yourselves in the spotlight as well, because, and I feel like that makes sense too with Mars coming in, because it's such a standout planet. It's such a fiery, passionate planet. It's very like out there. It's very like aggressive in your face, kind of. Not saying you guys are aggressive, but hopefully you know what I mean when I say that. So there could be an element of this job you're doing with you being in the spotlight. So whether that's like on social media, or whether it's literally like you're the teacher, so you're like at the head of the classroom, people have their eyes on you, things like that. You are sort of coming across as like the center piece, or like the focal point of whatever this role is. And in the Star card, it also talks about healing energy too. So like I was mentioning in the beginning with the echinacea, there's some aspect of healing, whether it's healing others or healing self, that are going to be really important in this role. And the Star for me also talks about hopes and dreams. So again, there's something about this energy, like this job that's coming in for you, that feels like this is something you've dreamed about, or maybe it's a step toward achieving your dreams, or like an ultimate goal or achievement you guys have in mind. And that would make a lot of sense why we have so much passion for it and why there's so much of this push to achieve it. It's interesting too, because with the Two of Pentacles here, and then we also have like the way the teacher is holding this World card, I feel like there could be some things that you all are needing to really balance in this role. Like the word balance is coming to mind here. You guys may be multitasking a lot in this role. You may have a lot of things going at the same time, maybe a lot of different projects that you're toggling between. And I do think that there's an element of surprise in this job at times, because if you see how like the witch is perfectly balanced on this balance beam with her pentacles, right? But then this little cat is coming in and is about to potentially throw her off balance. So there's also like this element of like unexpected energy, I think, coming in for this role that you all will have to kind of figure out you're going to be figuring out like how to maintain balance, how to maintain all the tasks that you have going on while still being flexible to the element of surprise or potentially the unknown. Okay, let's continue on. What do we have here? All right, so we have patience. Manifestations are on the way. And then we also have lovers, a passionate connection, shared vision, and values. So starting off with patience, that's kind of interesting because with this Mars energy, that's like literally the opposite of patience. You know, Mars is actually, when I think of that, I think of like impatience and wanting things to happen right away, right now, really quickly, like really going after goals. Like this even says force here too. So I definitely feel that for some of you guys, this could be just a message from spirit, just to be patient. If you're wanting this new role right now and you feel like you're doing a lot of stuff right now to try to make it come faster, spirit is saying be patient, because it feels like with this card that you all would be in alignment with what you're wanting, and the right thing is on the way for you, okay? Like you're not going to miss out on something that isn't meant for you. So just keep that in the back of your mind if you guys kind of resonate with this forceful energy of really like trying to force something to happen really fast. For others of you though, I feel like this role is going to require patience of some sort. And it could feel a little challenging, right, with that Two of Pentacles energy when unexpected things come up, or if you're in like a competitive environment, or you're dealing with people who are sick or needing healing, right? Like there's some form of needing to be patient that's going to be really crucial to this role. And with the lovers coming in, for some of you who are going to be working within like an organization or working at a company, this does talk about shared vision and values, a passionate connection. So this role is 100% something that's going to be in alignment with you from a values perspective, which is so important, you know, especially for those of you that are working in like corporate environments, or you're not working for yourself. You don't get to make up your own rules, right? You're working for an employer. We know that the culture and values of a company are so important to our personal happiness, right? So it definitely feels as though wherever you all are working, there is a shared vision and there are shared values. And so that's going to create a feeling of harmony. And this may also be really healing for those of you as well that pick this pile. Maybe in the past or maybe currently you guys are working in a role that isn't feeling good to you right now, and stepping into something new is going to be very healing for you, especially when you feel it's in alignment. I also think, again, with the lovers, you all could be like working with people too, like helping other people, connecting with other people. For a select few of you, this could be talking about literally working with a loved one. So take that as it resonates with you. We also have the man holding a coin, which that's interesting with the lovers. So that could be the case for some of you. But the man holding a coin is talking about support. So I do feel that in this role, you all are feeling a lot of support. I also feel that this is a role where financial abundance is there, security, stability is there. You may have like a boss or a mentor or something in this role that's really supporting you along the way, who's there to help you out if you need it. And I also think that this potentially shows that this could be a role that you all could feel secure in for quite a while with that man holding a coin. Like this is a stable environment for you to be coming into. For me, the number 43 also talks about being angelically protected. If you guys look it up online, angel number 43, this was a number that was actually following me around for a long time, a few years back. And when I was doing some reading on it, it was talking about how, you know, this is really a number of your angels supporting you and guiding you. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, this role is very healing for you for a lot of reasons. And you're protected and you're specifically guided onto this path. So don't worry so much if it's not feeling like it's happening right away, because it is coming in divine timing for you. So pile 1, we're going to go ahead now and use my little channeled time frames deck just to kind of see when this role might be happening for you, or what time frames of significance you guys should know about. So for group 1, tell us when is a significant time frame for this job. When is this potentially presenting to them? So we have a waxing moon. So you guys can actually check, you know, online for when the moon phases are, but a waxing moon is significant here. Let's get one more. We also have weekend vibes. So something about the weekend is significant to this job as well. At the bottom of the deck, we do have 1 year from now. So just a few time frames to keep in mind. I know those were super vague. So if I were you, group 1, I would look at, and your intuition will tell you why this could be for you, but something about the weekends is really important with regard to this role. This can mean like the opportunity presents itself on a weekend. If this is some sort of like a what am I trying to say? Like your own business or something like that, the weekend is being highlighted as a time frame of like where you might be working. And the waxing moon, you know, this happens, you know, I think a couple times a month. So I would just look to see like when maybe the next waxing moon is, maybe one that's close to a weekend, because that might be significant for you if you're really trying to pinpoint the time frame. But remember, I feel like for this group, it intentionally didn't give a specific time frame because the universe is wanting you to practice patience, which I know is so annoying when we want to know like when something's happening right away. But I can't control it. It just is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out there for you, group 1, but I would love to hear how this resonates with you. So please drop me a comment and let me know. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in a new reading really soon. Bye. Hey there, group 2. If you all picked out the light apricot, this is going to be your reading. We're going to get into your next new job opportunity, potentially headed your way. And then make sure you guys stay till the end, because after we get into the full description of the job, we'll be looking into some potential time frames of significance for you. So starting off with your first card, we do have the energy of light apricot. And this card talks about releasing your fears. So there is something about this role that I think is going to challenge your self-confidence. I think that there's going to be a need here to lighten up a little bit maybe, or just kind of know your worth is like the energy I'm getting from this. This could be something creative for some of you. I don't know why I'm feeling that creativity is important to this role, maybe because the card is like an orangey color. But there's something here with this next new role that maybe initially when it comes in, you're going to be a little like intimidated by, or there could be like this feeling of imposter syndrome where you're like, can I really do that? And so you're going to be challenged to kind of release that imposter syndrome and sort of know your worth and know that this is where you belong. Okay. We have the 10th house. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Okay. So I feel like for some of you guys, this is interesting because the 10th house has to do with like your reputation. It has to do with the public eye. It has to do with like really being seen. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense. If you're someone that doesn't like having attention on you, the 10th house energy is saying like you're going to be getting attention. There's going to be eyes on you. And that would be maybe why you could be coming into the role feeling a little apprehensive, because it's like, oh my God, do I really want all that attention on me? But that's going to be the case. So something about this role has you either in the spotlight. Some of you, this is like talking about being famous, like literally being in the spotlight with so many eyes on you. But if that's not necessarily that extreme for your situation, just know that like it feels as though this could be a role where you're really seen. And this is definitely something where, like, I feel like you guys with this job are sort of like establishing your reputation, thinking about your legacy, like your long-term goals with this job. I also feel like this is something that some of you have worked really hard for. Like, it's not something that's just going to maybe pop out of nowhere, because I feel like with the 10th house, it's something that you're working on or could have been working on for a while. We have the Mother card coming out. Okay. We also have the Child. What? That's wild, literally. A mother and a child. What? Okay, so listen. So something about like family could be significant to this new job for some of you. So like one scenario I'm getting is that like maybe this, whatever this thing of you being in the spotlight is, could be like your family being in the limelight. Like, I don't know why I'm thinking of like a reality TV show or something on social media. That could literally be the case for some of you. But for others of you, for some of you, this could even be talking about childhood or motherhood, sharing tips with people on social media, or being in the spotlight for something that you know about it. But on like the more intuitive or more symbolic sense, the mother talks about creation. It talks about giving birth to something and taking care of it and nurturing it. So like I was picking up on at the beginning with the light apricot color, this does feel like for a lot of you, this could be some sort of creative idea or creative project that you have, you know, proverbially given birth to, right? Symbolically given birth to. And you've been nurturing it for a long time, and it's now coming to light. And the child showing up is like, this is your baby being shown to the world. This is your baby. That's your legacy, this job, this creative idea, etc. For some of you with this light apricot and like releasing your fears, this goes back to your childhood. So there could be like a deeper spiritual lesson within this job that's coming your way, pile 2. You know, like maybe revisiting childhood and where some of these fears of potentially being in the spotlight come from, fears of success, fears of having attention on you, things like that. But this particular child is talking about the child of nature. So this talks about friendships with animals and communication with nature spirits. So for some of you guys, this role may actually have to do with nature, or it may have to do with animals as well, or spirituality, like this card is talking about too. So there's lots of different things are coming in. And I also have to point out, you guys have a lot of green energy in all these cards. So I do feel financially this might be a good opportunity for you, because when I think of green, I think of money. But I also think of the heart chakra. So there's something that you all really love about this role. It's like I feel you're doing work that you really genuinely love from the heart, okay? So we have the 5 of Wands. And we have the 3 of Swords. Okay. Yikes. Okay. Let's see. So the 5 of Wands is telling me that this could be a competitive environment that you guys are going into here. You know, we kind of kicked off this energy with all this like warm and light and fluffy, like good vibes. And now we're getting into maybe some of the shadow attributes, or maybe some of the reasons why we have the energy of releasing your fears. The other thing to keep in mind too, you guys, is like when you are in the spotlight, when there's a lot of eyes on you, there's always going to be people out there that are going to be criticizing you, right? You're never going to be everybody's favorite. You're never going to be everyone's cup of tea. There's always going to be critics out there that have something they have to say, okay? Good, bad, indifferent. It's just how our society is. So I do feel that for some of you guys who are sort of like struggling with this idea of being in the spotlight, or really wanting to uphold like a certain type of reputation for yourself, there is an energy of criticism. There is an energy of competition. There is an energy of potential drama and cattiness coming in here, right? Like, look at how there's fire on the ground. This cauldron is bubbling over. No one's paying attention to the cauldron because they're all just like bickering with themselves. So there's definitely an environment of competition. Now, if you guys are more so just like working for yourself and there's not really people involved for you on a day-to-day basis, I would just take this as whatever industry you all are in is very competitive. So there's going to be a need to figure out how to set yourself apart from the rest of this. And I think this is why the 10th house is coming in, because this is, again, talking about your reputation and what it is that you want to be known for. So you all are trying to maybe differentiate yourselves from other people within the same industry or field that you're in. I also wonder too, with the 3 of Swords, if part of this role is you sharing out your pain with the world, or you sharing out like your heartbreaks with the world. We have a journal here, which feels very like therapeutic for me. And I can't help but notice that there's like a bed here that's empty, like as if someone has left. So it's making me feel like you guys could be publicly communicating or sharing, you know, like your history, things that have happened to you in your lifetime, maybe some things from childhood. Or on the flip side, maybe supporting other people through their own heartbreaks or supporting other people through their own healing journey could be something of significance as well. And that would make sense with this mother card and the child card too. Like both of these have you guys like holding and nurturing like a baby, a little bunny rabbit. Like, so I do feel like there's a lot of healing energy around whatever this is that you guys are doing as well. Okay. Like the 3 of Swords doesn't mean something bad is happening to you in this job necessarily. I think it could mean that a lot of you are helping other people that could be going through a tough time because you've learned through your own experiences with heartbreak or your own experiences with, you know, whatever you've been through, how to support. So we do have the energy of denial coming through. This says failure to accept a situation, unhealthy cycles, or addictions. And we also have deception, false illusions, scarcity mentality, falling into bad habits. So both of these cards, you guys talk about bad habits. So I would be curious to know what those bad habits are for you. I think it's going to be a little bit different for everyone involved. Denial and deception, you know, failure to accept, false illusions. I feel like that's where this releasing the fears is coming from. I feel like before this can come in for you, pile number 2, I feel like you guys have to work on self-love and work on kind of like releasing this notion that you're not worthy, that you're not worthy of having the things that you desire, that you're not worthy of having the things you want. And even if you're watching this and you're like, but that doesn't make sense, like I know I'm worthy, you really want to dig deep here because there could be some sort of subconscious fears or biases or something going on in your mind that you're not even consciously aware of that could be energetically blocking you from calling this in. That's the vibe I'm getting here. It's interesting too with scarcity mentality coming up because I always think of like when we're fighting and competing with people for attention or whatever it is, it's like a lot of times because we feel like there's just like this one thing that we all want. And so I think it's going to be important for all of you to release that scarcity mentality because what's for you is meant for you and what isn't was never meant for you to begin with. So there's no need to feel like this is the only option or that you have to be combative with other people to get what you want. But again, they both talk about bad habits and unhealthy cycles. So I definitely think it would be worth examining what that means for you specifically, pile number 2, because there is some cycle within this job coming in that could potentially be repeated if it's not something that you dig deep to understand about yourself. So let's look at the last card and then we'll get into your time frame. So we have the energy of attachment. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like the problem, I don't want to say problem, but the potential blockage that I feel for you, group number 2, is perhaps you guys are staying attached to something from the past in your career. Or you're staying attached to a specific outcome that you're wanting from this. And the problem with that is when we're so attached to something, either from the past or a certain outcome that we want, we sort of energetically block things from happening naturally the way that they should. So that kind of makes sense with the cycles of attachment being here. Like, I think that's the cycle that may need to break for you. Like releasing the need to have a specific outcome or have it look a specific type of way. Release attachment to any drama from the past, release attachment to any former workplaces that are not, no longer in your life or that aren't serving you in your highest good. Yeah, that's what I feel. And, with the World card, like, if this is about you guys, like, being in the public eye or even just some sort of ultimate achievement in your career, it just might look different than what you guys have envisioned. Maybe you have journaled about, like, something really specific for yourself, or you've been doing law of attraction, you've been manifesting. And I think there needs to be room for being open to it looking maybe different, because it'll still be great, but it just might be a little different than what you guys feel like it is in your head. So pile 2, let's go ahead and look into some time frames for you just to kind of see like when this opportunity is presenting to you, or just any time frames of significance that you guys want to know about with this job. So for pile 2, when is this presenting to them as the energy stands today? All right, so the month of February is coming up. So I believe this will be uploaded at the ending of February. I always pre-record my videos. So the month of February is showing up as significant. Let's get one more. We also have weekend vibes. That's vague, but that's what Spirit wanted to show. And then we have next week at the bottom of the deck as well. So for you guys, if you're watching this when I uploaded it in February, then it feels like some sort of resolution or insight into this job or this energy that we're picking up on here is going to show itself. It's going to be pretty evident pretty quickly after watching the video, especially if you're watching it right when I upload it. Now, this video is timeless. So regardless of when you guys come across the reading, these time frames can still resonate for you. So even if you're watching this in like June, it could be that the following February is a significant time, weekends, and then like the next week after you watch it. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out there, group 3, but I would love to hear from you how this resonates in the comments below. And if you're not already subscribed, please do so. I will see you in a new reading very soon. Bye. Hello there, group number 3. If you selected the grapefruit card, this will be your reading. We're going to get into what your next potential job opportunity is for you. So beginning the reading, as always, we're going to get into like the details of what the role is, what it's going to look like, qualities and characteristics. And then at the end, I'm going to be channeling some specific time frames for you. So let's go ahead and start with the first message of the grapefruit. So first thing I want to say with the number 5 here is that this new job feels like something that could be a little different from what you're used to. 5s have to do with changes, right? We're going through a change. We're going through a little bit of a challenging time, potentially. And so with that being here, it's just making me feel like it could be something that we're pushing forward with that could be outside of the box from the current type of work that we're doing. So career change or something like that. This card, this really beautiful card, the grapefruit color. I mean, when I think of grapefruits, I think of pink, but this is definitely not pink. This is like kind of a reddish pink kind of color. But it's giving me really fun vibes. So I feel like it's something creative that you all might be doing. And with there being generous energy here, I feel like you guys are pouring a lot of yourself into this work. I feel like there's an energy of generosity toward others in this work. And maybe even for some of you, this organization or whatever this job is that you're working for might be generous for you. So let's continue. So we have the 5th house of creativity. Yes. So, okay, this is exciting. This is definitely something that I feel is a creative job, without a doubt, for you guys. So this can be something like super artistic in nature, artistic expression, however that means for you. Like here in this card, they have like the little drama masks. So like acting, theater, things like that. So however you guys like to creatively express, whatever resonates with you around creativity is what I feel this role is about. This could also have to do with something you guys are doing as a hobby, something you're doing as a hobby that's like growing into something that you can actually support yourself with too, which is really exciting. And just like the energy feels really free that I'm picking up on here, which is excellent. Okay, so we have the Poet coming in. And we also have the Midas Miser, entrepreneurial abilities, which, yeah, this without a doubt feels like a group that could be working for themselves. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. And if that's not the case, then you're working for someone that allows you to be like yourself and allows you to be creative and, you know, childlike and all sorts of awesome stuff. So we'll start back over here. So the Midas Miser is talking about entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything into gold, delight in sharing life's riches. This is beautiful because, again, we have this energy of generosity coming in. So whatever work you guys are doing, I also feel there's an element of desiring to give back, right? Like wanting to share the things that you're doing and also wanting to share like financially the money you're making with people that feel important to you or causes that feel important to you. The Poet card also is kind of channeling our creative energy, and this talks about expresses soul insights into symbolic language. So it's like something around communication I feel is really important in this role. And again, like the Poet is creative expression as well. So this could literally be poetry for some of you in like the most literal sense of the card. But for others, I feel like this is about expression, self-expression, creative expression. It talks about symbolic language, which makes sense with like any type of art you're doing, whether it's dance or poetry or painting or whatever. Could even be singing for some of you. Tattoo artist or something like that. I don't know why that just came to mind, but that's kind of what this feels like. Just some sort of creative job where you guys can just express yourselves in a really beautiful way. We have the Hierophant. So definitely some sort of a structure coming in. We also have the Four of Swords. Okay. Number 5's here too. So definitely feels like it could be something different. But, you know, the Hierophant card, for some of you guys, like both of these cards look so zen. So energetically, I feel like this job will feel very zen for you. It's going to feel really chill, really relaxing. I think that it's going to allow you to sort of like relax any anxieties. I think that it's going to feel very healing for you. I also think there's an element too with the Four of Swords of helping others through their own healing journey. Because the Four of Swords is sort of like when we have to take a break from something because we've just been through something that could have been a little mentally draining and exhausting. So that could be the case for some of you out there too, where it's more about other people receiving relaxation and healing from this work, who have been going through a tough time or just who need it. And the Hierophant card is, this is bringing in like some spiritual vibes, some mentorship vibes, some guru type of vibes for me. Maybe some of you, this is actually having to do with teaching yoga or maybe some sort of an exercise class. But I almost feel like people are coming to you for guidance in some way. Like they're coming to you for that spiritual guidance or mentorship or, you know, like whatever creative work that you all are doing is providing some sort of deeper insights for people. It's like they look up to you. And I also think with the Hierophant card, there's like a specific way of doing things in this job. Now, for some of you, you know, there could be like, you know, like for the example of the yoga, you know, there's specific ways to do yoga. There's specific poses, specific language that you use, right? So that's kind of like, that's what the Hierophant talks about. It's like the status quo, the way that we traditionally do something, right? So traditions are important to this role as well. So whether that is traditions of some greater entity that you guys are supporting or traditions that you yourself are coming up with, tradition is highlighted for this job too. Okay. We have Strength. We also have Spread Your Wings. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so with Spread Your Wings, like for sure, you guys, this role is something that is free. Remember how at the beginning I was saying this energy feels really light and joyous and very free? And I think that this is going to be sort of maybe a leap of faith for some of you as well, right? Like maybe this is a big change going from like a specific way of doing your work or a specific type of job or security that you're used to into saying, you know what? No, I'm going to go on my own. I'm confident in myself. You know, something about this job, like it feels worth it to you because you're able to just be authentic and be who you truly are. I also feel that, you know, this is coming about after a time period of self-discovery as well. Determination, perseverance, and self-discovery, right? Like, so it's something where deep down inside, like, you know that this is the right thing for you because you've done the work on yourself. You know yourself, you know what you need, and you know that this type of work is going to be really gratifying for you. Closing it out, we have strategy. So there's still a strategic mindset that's needed with this role. So it's not going to be just complete rainbows and sunshine all the time, right? Like, not that strategy is a bad thing, but this is just showing that something about this job opportunity will require strategic vision and planning, right? It's not just going to be like, oh, I can show up and be creative and I just go with the flow. Like, there is going to be a need. And if this is about working for yourselves, you guys, I feel like this is also a guidance message from spirit around like you need to come up with a strategy. It can't just be, oh, what's meant, you know, we always say this in like the spiritual community, what's meant for me is for me and people will find me if they're meant to find me. Yes, that is true. And there are also other things, other strategies that you can implement to attract the right type of people to you. So if you're not really using any type of strategy right now to really amplify yourself, then that is something that's likely needed. And I feel like that's why this is showing up here for you in your reading. So pile 3, this is beautiful energy. We're going to go ahead and close it out by getting some time frames for you. So let's just kind of see for pile number 3, like what time frames of significance should they be aware of? I keep knocking this over. All right, so for my pile 3 viewers, what time frame should they know about with regard to this job? So we have Cancer season. So that's going to be around end of June into July. Let's get another one for pile 3. And the holidays are coming up. So holiday time is being highlighted here as well with December at the bottom of the deck. So this could literally be like the December holidays that a lot of people celebrate. But that's pretty open to being any holiday of significance. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out there for you, Group 3. But I would love to hear how this message resonates with you in the comments down below. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. I'll see you all in a new reading really soon. Bye.